Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take care of our other buildings, and therefore you can of course go ahead and try to do this yourself. You have seen everything that we needed to do, and actually you don't even have to set everything up from scratch. You can just go ahead and reuse this building canvas here because it contained all of the relevant buttons. Because our building 1 here, for example, has this building script, building 2 has the script, and building 3 all have the script. We just need to make sure that we duplicate the canvas and then assign the right visuals and buttons to the building scripts. So pause the video and try this for yourself. Okay, I hope you tried it and I hope you were successful as well. So I'm going to drag the building canvas in my prefabs because this is going to be my prefab that I want to reuse. Okay, so in building 2, let me actually activate building 2 as well as building 3. And now I'm going to drag the canvas in there, building canvas. Now it will be underneath that building. And then the other building canvas underneath building 3. So now we have the different buildings and updates and stuff like that. Now we can of course play around with the position of the buttons if we want to. And we also need to make sure that the main camera is going to be the event camera under the canvas. Same goes for this building canvas here, also the main camera, like so. And now let's go ahead and go to the building and assign the right visuals. So here, the building visuals, let's drag in the building prefab, then the buy button. So let's drag in the buy button here, the profit button, the upgrade button. And then of course we need to assign the right values as well. So for the second building, I'm going to use the profit multiplier of 5 and the upgrade cost multiplier of 20, as well as the cost representation of 5,000. So it will take a little while until we can actually get it. Then let's look at building 3. Let's do the same thing here. We will need to assign the visuals. So let's drag in the building prefab, as well as the buy button, the collect profit button, as well as the upgrade button. And here I'm going to use other values. And here I'm going to work with the profit multiplier of 20, the upgrade cost multiplier of 100, and the cost representation of 100,000. Okay, so these are values that you can play around with and decide what you want to use, of course, to balance your game accordingly. All right. That by itself will of course not do the trick, because if we look at our buttons, they also have no click events now. So we need to make sure that we assign the right click event to them. So let's drag building 2 in there and let's select the building script. And here we are talking about the buy button, so on buy button should be executed. Now let's do the same thing here. Let's drag the building in there, building script, and on collect profit button, and then the upgrade button. Let's drag in the building here, and the on upgrade button should be executed. Now the same thing goes for our building 3. So let's make sure that our button here, our buy button, has an on click with the building 3 connected to it. So let's drag it in and click on buy button. Then the same goes for the collect profit. So here on collect profit, and then the upgrade button as well. So let's drag that in there and on upgrade button. And now what we can of course do, as I stated earlier, we can make sure that we display those buttons better. So you can play around with the buttons. So here, this collect profit, let's move it a little bit to the front so that it's in front of the building so that we can actually see it. Here, this level up button, or this level up, maybe we can move it all to the front. You could even set it up at the same position as the other ones here if you wanted to, but then the collect profit button is entirely hidden. So let's move that a little further to the front as well. So now if you were to do it precisely, you would check out where this is in terms of its positions and do the same thing for the other buttons. So I'm going to leave that to you. Now, unfortunately, our current view doesn't allow for us to move around, so we are going to take care of that later, where we can move the camera around. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at least for testing right now, I'm going to change it to landscape. So now if we play the game, we will still see all of them. Okay, let me also move the camera a tiny bit here, as well as the Z coordinate, something like that. And now we will be able to see all buildings. Let's test it. Let's see if we can actually play the game properly here. Okay, so let's buy this building. And now we need 5k gold. Okay, so let's see in our money manager how much money we have. Well, that would be something for testing, for example, where you would make the money visible. So the amount of money that you have visible. But let me just do some upgrades here. Actually, here in the collect profit, in my building 1, let me change the upgrade cost multiplier to 1, and let's see how that's gonna go. Okay, so let's upgrade a couple of times, and so now we should grow a lot faster. Now you could of course also change the profit multiplier, I believe, like so. And now we're making a lot more money. So let's see if we can get to the money where we can buy the house here. There we are. Now we have the money. Let me upgrade a couple more times. So we're making more money. All right. Here you see this is a lot cheaper to level up. So let's modify. By the way, as we're in play mode, this is fine, right? So let's make this a significantly larger profit. Right, there we are, 100k, and now we have enough money to do all of the upgrades. Well, this is just for testing, right? Otherwise I wouldn't change those values too much, because if you want to test it properly and see if building 2 is clickable, well, you see now it's not clickable, so I cannot really do anything about it. And yeah, I would have to play it ordinarily, which would just take way too long. So waiting for all of the upgrades and then upgrading your buildings, it would just take too long. All right, so that's it for this video. We have tested it. We have our 3 buildings. We will need to be able to move around. But before we do that, we're going to add the ads manager, and then we're going to look at monetization strategies and all of the good stuff. Okay, so this camera movement is something that we're going to add only towards the end of this chapter. So see you in the next video.